Hello, my name's Gavin Houchell, one of the founders of the Acquire Group, and welcome to another of our Head Honcho interview series. I'm pleased today to be joined by Simon Bligh, CEO of Dun Bradstreet. Simon, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Simon, your career's taken a number of sharp turns, if I recall, from early days of studying English at Oxford to accounting, to different countries and different skills through finance and into general management. And I think we first met back in 2003, 2004 when you were probably the CFO at AAPT, and you then moved on to the airports and CFO at Veda, and over the latter years into driving and running big data businesses. So quite a journey.
Yep.
Quite a journey. Now I recall the words of do a Dun Bradstreet check over conversations in the office, but perhaps you can explain a bit about the business today, please.
Sure, So Dun Bradstreet, Australia and New Zealand, acquired by Archer Private Equity in June 2015. And there's basically, at that time, there were three divisions in the business. So a consumer bureau, so if you're applying for a credit card, a mortgage, a mobile phone, and somebody's deciding whether you can service the obligation that you're taking on, they could check that with our bureau. Similarly, businesses. So Dun Bradstreet's globally famous for its strength in business data. The business is actually 130 years old in Australia next year, and it knows pretty much everything there is to know about Australian businesses, both from a risk and marketing perspective. So you want to know who to sell to, or you want to know whether you can lend to people. And the third limb of the business is a collections business. So we will, if in the event that you market to somebody, you credit check them and pass them, and in the unfortunate incident that they're wrong, and that decision was wrong and they don't pay, then we can collect either as the brand, as Dun Bradstreet, or even as a law firm to collect money. Now, we've just set up a fourth limb of the business, which is called Credit Simple, and that launched in New Zealand on the 19th of September. So a month later, we've got 100,000 customers.
Wow.
And that's giving you your free credit score, your free report, a lot of material about financial literacy. And when you understand what your score is, there's a bunch of offers that you'll see that are better than high street, that would be appropriate for you.
Yep.
And if you want to, you can take those up. Obviously, from the brand, they only get customers they're going to accept, so they like it. And from the individual's point of view, they don't get denied, they get a great offer that they're eligible for. So that's the fourth limb of the business.
Wow, fantastic. And moving into that CEO seat, how did your earlier career set you up for success in making that move?
Yeah, look, it's a good question. I mean, I think I really only figured out what I wanted to do 5 or 6 years ago. Right. So, I've really grown to love data, but I kind of came into it by happenstance. So I've always been operational in nature, financial. I enjoy selling. So I was a frustrated CFO for many years, and it's never easy to make that CFO to CEO transition. But at the same time, that wealth of experience and working in different countries and working in different industries, I think just that maturity and miles under the belt, does mean that when you do get a promotion, you get to run something yourself, you're perhaps a little less green. It's always good to be paranoid about your job. I think it's always good to worry about what you can do to expand yourself. It's always good to get input around how you're doing things. That's part of the joy of going to work and doing different things every day. But certainly the experience of different cultures, different industries has helped a lot.
Fantastic to hear. You've obviously worked in now 2 private equity business.
Yep.
Either glutton for punishment or something you like. So what are some of the pros and cons of working?
And it's almost 3 really, because Sydney Airports, when I was there, was owned primarily by Macquarie. So that was run as a private equity vehicle, I think. So I've seen the airport with Macquarie, Veda with PEP, and now Archer with private equity. I think what dominates all of those models is dealing with really smart people, people who are primarily financial, analytical, commercial. They understand a deal, and it's short lines of decision making. You know, you go forward, you put your case forward. You better be well argued, because you're going to be dealing with very clever people, and they make decisions that are, you know, rational and strategic and financial. So I've enjoyed, you know, all three house styles, three quite, you know, different ways of doing things, but all hugely enjoyable.
Fantastic. Any pitfalls or any learning lessons you could share?
Hit your numbers. You know, but those kind of models, you know, the performance management does dominate. You know, at the end of the day, you're there to make money for shareholders. You're there to make money to service the debt and, you know, and provide a return to equity. So, you know, numbers are number one,
Paramount.
2 and 3.
Yep.
And now it's not to say they're run for short term, you know, and just run for a particular outcome, but the performance management system clearly dominates, as opposed, you know, and other aspects that are important, other aspects of running a business are out there, but you would never, I think, find the CEO of a private equity style business who had a measurement to do with gender diversity, for example.
Yeah, solid. Awesome. Yeah. And obviously, I spend a lot of time engaging and advising divisional CFOs that are contemplating pathways to either group CFO or general management. For someone that's been through both, what are some of the lessons or thoughts you can? And is there a certain pathway first or second in that, guys?
Yeah, I would always encourage people to get out of their comfort zone. Because, you know, when you are in charge of a business and you are making decisions, the buck does stop with you. So you have to feel comfortable in your own skin, making decisions, and you know, that's learned behaviour. So, you know, challenging yourself. If you have an opinion, finance people can sometimes be, you know, good advisors. And a little hesitant to then take the actual leadership and ownership of numbers. They're good at laying them off on other people, and often have very relevant observations to make about a business. Well, go ahead and take the opportunity and you know, pick up the ball and run
now
with
what? Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the key. Yeah, that's the key thing where, you know, if a finance person wants to lead a business, that's what they must do. Yeah.
And is there a way of sort of balancing and putting someone's training wheels in that respect? Have you know?
Sure, you know, I think that's right. You know, probably one of my first experiences of that was I was fortunate enough to work in Eastern Europe. I spent 2 years in Ukraine early in my career, and my boss at the time introduced himself, and he said, you know, hello, my name's Stuart. The board are going to sack me in 6 weeks unless I produce numbers, you know, and unless you produce them, I'll fire you. Just after 5. And you know, that was a real being thrown in a hornet's nest, and there was nobody there to really tell you what to do. It's a bit unfortunate, I think, sometimes that we do wrap a bit too much cotton wool around people. Failure is part of learning. You know, you don't go out and play a grand final. You train, you make mistakes, you get better, you know, and then one day you play the grand final. So I think it's really important that people do get a chance to fail, and you know that you know there's a net there, a safety net, but being successful 100% of the time, being 3 out of 3, isn't the right outcome. 7 out of 10, and the 4 more you got right, offsetting the 3 you got wrong, is key, I think. And you know, as a manager, that's something I was trying to remind myself of. Sure.
Now, Simon, you talk about safety nets. Now, as the CEO, you're in the number 1 role. So there isn't a lot of cover. So if you don't mind me asking, what do you love most, and what do you fear most about being the leader?
Yeah, I think, I love most about having the opportunity to put some of my plans in action and to operate with agility and speed. I think particularly in the line of business I'm in, using data to solve customers' problems and make them money and make me money. That's a very interesting space, and new avenues of value open up all the time. And fundamentally, it's me deciding which one of those will steer our business towards. So I enjoy the sort of commerciality of it and the responsibility around that. What do I fear? I mean, I kind of go to my risk register, really, being an ex-CFO. So, businesses like mine, ethics, reputation, information security are paramount. They go straight to value. So they're the things I kind of I worry about. And if you're not worrying about them, you probably have a problem.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you've obviously had a beautiful journey. I wish you all the success in the journey with D&B, but thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.